Hi, it's Alistair from Radio Spears. I've been fixing up a Samsung LED TV which would run for about an hour and then shut down. Typically its fault is in the output capacitors on the power supply, which is these ones I'm pointing to here. Now, without a proper meter to test them, and I do have 2 meters over here. That's a standard digital meter. This is a scope meter, and it does have a capacity range, but the capacity range is only useful for testing capacitors when they're taken out of the circuit. So it would be ideal to be able to test the capacitors in circuit. Now, when I replaced the caps here, these are the original ones which I've put back in because Samsung decides when it builds something not to stick to standard values like 470 microfarad and 330 microfarad and that sort of stuff. They come up with some pretty oddball figures. So because the replacement caps were a different value out of the 20% range that I put in here, when I replaced these and found that that is not the area that's faulty, I reverted back to the original caps. And with the Samsung boards, as you can see, they do have some sort of adhesive holding the caps down on the board. But check these caps out. These are quite different because it's an LED TV and they squeeze everything down. It's not such a good idea. If you buy a TV, get something with a slightly wider back so that all the components have got plenty of room to move. Anyway, just to summarise, why should we get a bit of test equipment, in this particular case called an ESR meter, which is equivalent series resistance? The reason being that I can just quickly with an ESR meter go across all of the components in the board and find out reasonably accurately whether they're good or not. That's the capacitors. Mainly capacitors fail if you're familiar with TV servicing. You do get odd transformer failures. Very rarely you get semiconductor failures. But if I had a ESR meter, which I'll demonstrate in a wee while, I'll show you the advantage. But for example, if I'm going to be ripping out all the capacitors on this board and replacing them, because it looks like now that, well, definitely that area is fine, I've got to start working on that one, that one, that one, that one, and so on. And if you do a blanket capacitor repair, that's 20 caps at about 3 minutes a cap, removing and replacing. That's an hour's work. Now, if I've got a meter, it takes me maximum 30 seconds to pop it across there and check each component. That's cutting my labour costs right down, and of course I can recoup on the charge out because I'm using a specialised bit of test equipment. So that's it in a nutshell, why you should be using an ESR meter rather than these standard meters. In the part 2 of this demo, I'll show you how to go through a circuit board with using an ESR meter, and hopefully we can sort this board out without too much ado. Thanks for watching.